Hey, what's up everyone, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. We are doing a very chunky PSA graded return today. Look at the size of this box. I'm very excited to see what kind of cards we get back and what condition they are coming back in. A lot of people have been concerned about PSA's current grading practice. They think PSA has gotten a lot harsher on their grades, so we're just gonna have to crack this bad boy open and see what kinds of cards we get back. I've been waiting for this PSA graded return for months now, and I'm pretty excited about it. We got a ton of really cool cards, mainly from Crown Zenith, as well as some modern Japanese promos. That's what I'm currently getting graded. A lot of really cool stuff, so hopefully you guys enjoy today's video, and hopefully this will give you some good insight on how they are currently doing their grading. I love the PSA branding, and there's our cards. Let's take these out and see what we have. It cost me $500 to get all of these cards graded. $506.50 to be exact. That's the exact cost of me grading these from PSA. So there's our cost on the screen. How much value are we going to actually get back? I can't include the cost of the actual cards because that gets a little convoluted, since a lot of these cards I got from pack openings as well as free promos and stuff like that from Japan. So it's really hard to value the cost of the cards that way. So we're really just going to talk about the value of the cards as graded cards, and we'll see how that compares to the cost of grading to understand if it's worth it to even consider grading cards right now. All right, first one up, we have ourselves an English card, and it is, wow, starting off very strong with a Crown Zenith PSA 10 Pikachu card. Now I have this card in Japanese and it looks really gorgeous in Japanese, but the English version is not bad at all, especially with that yellow border. This is one of those rare cards where the yellow border, I think, really adds to the aesthetic of the card. So this is a great starting point. First one up, and we already got ourselves a chase card that I would personally want inside of my collection. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That card is staying in my collection long term. And next up, oh wow, another really strong card, the Gardevoir EX. This is my chase card from Scarlet and Violet base, and check that out. Now I gotta get myself that Curlia and Ralts to have the whole entire trio story card. But yeah, this one really tugs at my heartstring, and I'm glad to have it in a PSA 10. Another one that is staying in my collection long term. We're just talking about gorgeous cards after gorgeous cards. And all in PSA 10 too. Next one up. And another one, Pikachu V from Lost Origin. We pulled this one from one of the Heavy Hitters premium collection, I think. I'm not actually positive on that, but I know I pulled it from like just a random Lost Origin booster pack from one of the collection boxes, and this card came back as a 10 as well, so that's really, really good. Another one that I think is probably an S tier trainer gallery card. If it's not S tier, it's probably A tier. Still a very strong art piece, and yeah, another strong card that I just love having inside of my collection. Okay, it looks like we're moving on to some Japanese cards. I know I submitted a lot of the Unigaba Eevees. Those came out about half a year ago, and those were really cool. I got those for free from Japan. So let's see what some of the grades we got back were. Oh my goodness, and we're starting it off so strong with a Unigaba PSA 10 Umbreon. Check out that bad boy. That is super duper cool. This one was my only copy of the Umbreon, so if I didn't get this card in a PSA 10, well, I just don't have a PSA 10 inside of my collection then. But there we go. PSA 10 Umbreon. Wow, super cool. All right. Can we get the complete set in a PSA 10? That would be the really cool thing, if we can have the whole entire set. That's going to be very challenging because I only sent a single copy of some cards, and there were some cards that we pulled multiple duplicates off. I think it was either the Sylveon or the Espeon, but I pulled like 4 copies. Could you imagine if those were Umbreons instead? Because the Umbreon's definitely by far the most popular one. And next one up, we got ourselves an Espeon PSA 10. Man, we have not had a miss yet. I'm going to probably jinx it with that one, but there we go. We got ourselves both the Espeon and an Umbreon in a PSA 10. That's very strong already. I keep saying that, but yeah, I'm already blown away by this PSA graded return. This is so good so far. All right, next one up, and oh, we got ourselves our first 9. There, I said it. I jinxed myself. We got ourselves a PSA 9 Eevee. I know I had more than one of these, so hopefully one of the other ones gives us a 10. We still have a chance to get the whole entire complete set in a PSA 10. So next card up, I'm assuming this is just going to be the rest of the Unigaba cards. And we got ourselves our next one, Flareon. Flareon in a PSA 10. Super, super solid. Happy to see that. All right, we got ourselves Flareon in a PSA 10. Hopefully we got ourselves Vaporeon and Jolteon, and it looks like we're moving back to English. I don't know what's up with PSA, but they normally have these cards in a sequential order, but it looks like they just shoved all of these graded cards in randomly, which is very, very unusual. That's not how they usually do it. And we got ourselves the Gloria in a PSA 10, the full art Gloria from VMAX Climax. Wow, that is a really cool card as a full art trainer collector. This one staying inside of my personal collection. That's a very, very cool card. All right, let's move up. Next, we got ourselves an English card. Kind of weird. Like I said, all over the place with the order. And we got ourselves an Alessa Sparkle from Crown Zenith. That's our second 9 so far. Alessa Sparkle. Unfortunate. Crown Zenith was super challenging for me. I had around 50 hits, so I had a ton of hits, none of the big ones. I didn't get any of the big major hits, which was very unfortunate, but that was okay. The big unfortunate thing with Crown Zenith was the quality control of around 50 hits. I think I only was able to submit right around maybe 8 or so hits that I thought were good enough to be PSA 10s. And even then, those were very struggle. Ooh, next one up, we got ourselves a duplicate Flareon in a PSA 10. Now, I already told you guys, but if I get any duplicates of my cards, I'm happy to give those back to other collectors. I have a link to my eBay store where you can pick up any of these cards that I choose to put up for a listing. So yeah, there you guys go. If we have any duplicates like this Flareon, then one of you guys can get a card from my own personal collection. All right, next one up, we got ourselves a Sylveon in a PSA 10. So yeah, so far so good. I think we've gone solid PSA 10 so far. The dream of getting the complete Unigaba set in a PSA 10 is still very much alive. Let's see if we can keep going. We're missing a couple more: Leafeon, Glaceon, Vaporeon, Jolteon. So I'm still shaking in my seat. This could still go badly. I know for a couple of them, we only had one copy, like the Umbreon. So that one was definitely dodging a bullet right there for that one being a 10. Glaceon, we got in a 10. This is so good so far. We've only had 2 9s and I think over 10 10s. So a lot of 10s so far, which is great. This has probably been one of my strongest PSA graded returns so far. Typically with PSA, you get around 50% of your cards back as 10s, depending on how good you are at sending your cards. It just really, really depends. If you get around half your cards as 10, that's pretty good results in my personal opinion. Anything above that, and that's icing on the cake. We got ourselves, our third Flareon in a 9. That's okay. That's okay. So that's our third 9 so far. Next one up. Leafeon in a 10. I think this was another one where I only had a single copy. So if this Leafeon didn't come back as a 10, I guess I wouldn't have the complete set in a 10. But so far, very, very good. I think we're doing still very strong. Still missing Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Eevee in a 10 if I'm doing my count right. All right, next card up, and there it is, the Vaporeon in a PSA 10. So we're only missing 2 cards left. Jolteon and Eevee in a 10. If my count is right, I'm not missing anything else. Someone else will have to double check me. But so far, very, very good. We've gotten so far 12 10s and 3 9s. So very good return. 20% of our cards have been 9s and 80% of our cards have been 10s. Really strong return so far. Next up, a Japanese card, Eevee or Jolteon. I think that's what we're missing, Eevee or Jolteon. A second Glaceon, it's in a 9, but that's not an issue for us because we already got ourselves a Glaceon 10. All right, next card up. And it is another Sylveon. I know I got a couple of duplicates because we opened up 20 of these booster packs. 10 of them I got free, and another 10 were purchased from one of the Japanese retailers. So we had 20 copies of these random Unigaba cards. Luckily, I was able to get the complete set. Ooh, yeah, I know we got a couple of Glaceons in there. So there's another Glaceon 10. Let's keep on going. Another Sylveon in a 10. All right, now we're starting to get really serious. This pile's starting to get pretty low now. And the next card up, there it is, the Jolteon in a PSA 10. This is bonkers. I think we're only missing the Eevee now, and I know I still have an Eevee in the stack because I had multiple copies of it when I submitted this submission. So if we get that one at a 10, then we would have the complete Eevee Unigaba Evolution set in a complete PSA 10. That would be really, really great. And on my first try too, which would be really, really cool. Next card up. And we did it! It is the Eevee in a PSA 10. No way! The complete set. And my goodness, are these completely sequential in PSA 10 as well? I know I did something of that nature where I tried to submit the whole entire set in a sequential PSA 10. That'd be really, really cool. All right, next card up, and whoa, we're back with some full art cards, and it's Irida, or Irida, whichever one you want to say. I would go with Irida just because I think her name is supposed to be Iridescent. Don't quote me on that. I'm just making stuff up as I go, and that's how Pokemon usually does it as well. But we got ourselves the Irida card in a V-Star Universe set from a PSA 10. Wow, what a cool card. This was from one of our recent V-Star Universe pack opening too. So this is another great card that's just going right into my collection. I'm pretty much collecting all of the Friends card, which is great. We got ourselves a third Espeon, or maybe even a fourth Espeon in a PSA 10. And we got ourselves another Eevee. This is probably our last Eevee in a PSA 10, so that's really, really solid. We got ourselves the full art Charizard V-Star. Have we seen anything besides a 10 or a 9? I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, but I feel like we've gotten so many 10s and so few 9s. That's absolutely bonkers. This is not normal at all. We got ourselves the Charizard V-Star in a PSA 10. Wow, such a good card. If I can get the Mewtwo card to go along with this, it would be just perfect. That would be perfect. The two cards right next to each other, you can have that framed up and it's gonna look great on display. We got ourselves, yeah, there we go, like our fourth or fifth Espeon in a PSA 10. It just depends on what you get from these little Unigaba booster packs. They're still floating around out there, so you can pick up more Unigaba packs. We got ourselves another Vaporeon in a PSA 10. So these duplicates will definitely go up on my eBay store for other collectors if you'd like to pick those up. And whoa, that is a very cool card. We got ourselves the Pikachu on the ball in a PSA 10. I feel like a broken record saying that, but so many Gem Mint cards. I'm very, very happy with this return. All of these Pikachu promo cards going right inside of my personal collection. You guys know how I feel about Pikachu cards. Love, love them. And we got ourselves the Alessa Sparkle on a 10. This is so good. Oh my goodness, my full art collection is going so well. My Pikachu collection is going so well. And we got a bunch of just really cool alt art cards as well. This is such a good graded return. I cannot ask for more. I don't even know what these last two cards are. I'm not even sure what's left inside of my graded submission, so this is just going to be a surprise for me. Next one up, whoa! We got ourselves the Umbreon VMAX from Brilliant Stars in a PSA 10. This is so good. I think I got this card also in a random collection box. So this is just one of those rare chances where you can get really cool cards just like this, from trainer gallery cards to alt art cards to secret rare inside of just any random booster pack. And if they are good condition, you can get yourself gorgeous cards like this, because I probably spent 20 bucks opening up the collection box and I came out of it with an Umbreon VMAX PSA 10 that is so gosh darn good. That is such a great looking card. Final card. It's a Japanese card. Is this a Unigaba card? I'm not sure what else it can be. Oh, and it is like, what, our fifth or sixth Espeon? We just keep getting more Espeons. I know my pull rates for these were just like all over the place, where I pull like 1 Umbreon and 5 Espeon. Can you imagine if these were Espeons? That would be so great. Let me do a quick check on these Unigaba cards just to make sure that we do have the complete set. I know a lot of you guys are probably waiting to see, do I actually have the complete set? So let's check it out. Wow, guys, not only do we have the complete PSA 10 set of the Unigaba Evolutions, but we have them completely sequential. What that means is all of the PSA numbers on the screen goes up in the singular digit. So we got 204, 205, 206, 207 for a complete PSA 10 Unigaba set sequential. That is so Cool. When you have a set like this with PSA sequential number, it does add a little bonus to the value of the collection to some collectors. It's right around $100 to $200 in additional value. Some people actually want the complete set in a sequential numerical order like that. It's just something that collectors like to add a little bit more to the appeal of the complete collection. This is super cool. First try too, in my very first try, I was able to get the complete set sequentially. This is such a mind-blowing PSA graded return. I'm super happy with this result. To add to how crazy this PSA graded submission was, we got ourselves all of these other really cool cards in a PSA 10. Of my total PSA submission, we only had 4 9s. 4 9s. We got ourselves one Flareon PSA 9. We got one Alessa Sparkle PSA 9. We got one Eevee PSA 9. And we have one Glaceon in a PSA 9. 4 9s. That means I got 27 PSA 10. That means 87% of my submission was 10s. That is a bonkers statistic to me. I've never had that good of a PSA graded return before. So that is super, super cool, really mind-blowing. But I was very thorough with this specific submission, making sure that I picked and choose the right cards. Like I said, for Crown Zenith, there were probably 50 great cards that I pulled from Crown Zenith, and I was only able to submit a very small number of them for actual grading because the vast majority of the cards that I pulled from Crown Zenith had some kind of whitening, centering issues, all kinds of weird stuff that just wouldn't pass to PSA, so I just didn't submit those. So this goes to show you that if you are very thorough with what you are submitting to PSA or any other grader, you can get decent results. These graders are very serious. They do make mistakes from time to time, but this just goes to show you that they can be very accurate as well if you are very picky about what cards you are sending to them. All right, I hope this has been insight for you. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you have any questions when it comes to grading your Pokemon cards, I will be happy to answer your questions down in the comment section, and I will see you guys next time.